You are not lazy. You are just unclear about what comes next. There is a difference. When you sit down to work and immediately stall, your brain is not refusing the effort. Your brain is refusing the vagueness. It cannot execute a task when the task has no shape. Therefore, you drift. You switch tabs. You check your phone. You reorganize the desk. You call it procrastination. But procrastination is not what is happening. What is happening is trait. Your brain views unclear tasks the same way it views physical danger. No defined first step means no safe path forward. No safe path forward means freeze. The moment your task lives in abstract language, your nervous system activates resistance. Work on the project. Study for the exam. Get started on that thing. These are not instructions. These are warnings. Your brain hears them and prepares for combat. Therefore, every attempt to focus feels like dragging weight uphill. Every session ends in quiet defeat. You assume you lack discipline. But discipline is not the variable. What you lack is definition. The clearer the step, the smaller the ask, the more physical the instruction. That is when resistance dissolves. Not because you became stronger, because you stopped asking your brain to solve a puzzle before it could move. You already know this. You have felt the difference. The days you wrote draft the introduction instead of work on essay. The sessions you opened page 12 instead of review notes. The mornings you committed to 10 minutes on section 2 instead of make progress. Those were the days you actually moved, not because the work was easier, because the friction was removed. Your brain did not have to decide, interpret, guess. It just had to execute. Therefore, the real problem is not your capacity for effort. The real problem is the gap between the goal and the instruction. The wider that gap, the vaguer the language, the more your system treats the task like a threat. This is the law of cognitive friction. Unclear tasks generate mental resistance. Clear tasks generate motion. But most people never close the gap. They set goals in the abstract and wonder why execution feels impossible. They write, "Be more productive. Learn this skill. Fix that problem." And then they blame themselves for stalling. You are not stalling because you are weak. You are stalling because your brain is still waiting for instructions. The moment you stop using vague directives, the moment you define the exact physical first step, the moment you remove the need to interpret the task, that is when you stop feeling stuck. Therefore, the shift is not about willpower. The shift is about precision. Take the thing you have been avoiding, the project, the study session, the creative work, and ask yourself one question. What is step one? Not the outcome, not the vision, not the finished version. The first physical action your hands, or your focus, can actually complete. Open this file. Read these 3 pages. Write this single sentence. Name it. Define it. Make it so simple, it feels almost stupid. That is the instruction your brain has been waiting for. When the step is clear, resistance disappears. Not because the work became lighter, because your system no longer views it as a threat. You are not building discipline. You are removing the cognitive cost of starting. Therefore, every task you have been avoiding is not too hard. It is too vague. Every goal that feels heavy is missing a first step. And every time you sit down feeling paralyzed, your brain is not refusing effort. Your brain is refusing confusion. The fix is not motivation. The fix is clarity. You already know what needs to be done, always. Therefore, the question is not whether you have discipline. The question is whether you are willing to define the step, to make it so small, so clear, so physical, that hesitation has nowhere left to hide. Most people will not do this. They will keep the goal abstract, because abstract goals feel safe. Abstract goals cannot fail. Abstract goals never demand proof. But abstract goals also never move. They just sit there, draining energy, creating guilt, reinforcing the belief that you are lazy. You are not lazy. You are just living in the fog. The moment you step out of it, you will see how fast you actually move. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about removing the friction between knowing and doing. You already have the capacity. You already have the focus. You just keep asking yourself to execute blindfolded. Therefore, stop blaming your willpower. Stop searching for the motivation hack. Stop waiting to feel ready. Just define the first step. Make it so clear your brain cannot misinterpret it. Make it so small your system cannot reject it. And then do that step. Not the whole project, not the entire plan. Just the step. That is when everything changes. Not because you became disciplined, because you finally gave yourself something actionable to do. The work was always possible. You were just never properly instructed. Therefore, the next time you feel stuck, do not ask yourself why you are procrastinating. Ask yourself what the first step actually is. Name it, define it, strip it down, until it cannot hide anymore. And then watch how fast the resistance dissolves. You were never lazy. You were just unclear.